Good afternoon, almost. Yeah, it is good afternoon. I'm Ruth Jordan. For those that know me, I bring it. And when I say I bring it, I bring who I am. I am who I am. And my job here today is to be your keynote speaker. And so I started this presentation. I'm going to tell y'all, I didn't read my assignment until about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. I started to do a big, long presentation about our journey with the city of Charleston. Those that may not know, I'm the manager over the Women Minority Business Enterprise. We do business certification, and it is free for a whole $399, zero free. We help do business development. We now have an entrepreneur resource center, and I don't make no exceptions for women and minority-owned businesses, so you better give me a hand. In the city of Charleston, we have lost 62% of minority-owned businesses off of the peninsula. It wasn't by design, it was simply by gentrification and capitalization. I oftentimes tell people if you don't own it, you can't control it. And so things that we can own, I've learned that we got to go and fight for it. And so today I'm going to talk about rising up and winning. And so entrepreneurs wins. We have more entrepreneurs in this country with black and brown businesses than ever before. COVID was what they call the great resignations. People left their jobs and started their business. And guess what? They're winning. We have an entrepreneur and an ecosystem here that will help you grow and scale your businesses. In this room, you have more resources that you will never get to. It's a one-stop shop today. Whether it is Angela, or whether it's Dr. DaCosta, whether it's Dorothea, whether it's the city of Charleston, whether it's Columbia's SBA offices, as well as minority business with Pam Green, and whether SBDC with Paul Featheringgill in the room, all of these people in this room for small businesses. I want to see the hands of every one of you that's a small business owner. All right, woo. Give yourself a hand on today. Because one of the things that we need to understand is that you got to invest your time and your resources in your businesses. Every year we sponsor what we call a Business Opportunity Expo, where I say to small businesses, it's the day that you don't work in your business, you work on your business. It's the day that we don't sell cookies or T-shirts. We provide access and opportunity every March and April. This year, April 1st, the city of Charleston will be sponsoring our 6th annual Opportunity Expo. We have over 500 small businesses that show up with over 50 resource partners. They're all one-stop shop. We put the decision makers on stage, don't we, Courtney? We put them on stage. If you want to learn how to do business and meet with the decision makers, because you've heard it all today, you got to be in the faces of decision makers. Angela told you, you got to come prepared. We provide free workshops throughout the entire day. And guess what that expo costs you? Zero. Costs you zero. Now, I don't know how long we're going to be able to not charge you, but it's zero. Because we want to ensure that small businesses thrive and grow and win. That they rise up and win. Now, you say, why you got a plane there? Well, guess what? We're soaring. Now, it is turbulence time. And you know, sometimes when we're going on that plane, the Delta or American Airlines, and sometimes it gets a little rough. Well, right now, for small businesses with DE&I, we don't know where we're going in terms of the turbulence. But guess what? We're still going. We're still going to be moving. And so it doesn't matter what's going to come your way as small businesses. You have to continue to keep going. You got to make sure you know where you're going and how you're going to get there. This morning, for the past almost 4 hours, you've been told how to get on that plane. Now, I don't know whether you're going to be in first class, in the back of the wings, but you've been given the opportunity to take that ride. Entrepreneurship is a community sports. When I say a community sport, I'm talking about businesses that when you win, our community wins. Our educational system wins, our economic systems win, and our children wins. When we invest in entrepreneurs, those of color, we get a great return. Somebody said for every dollar, $2.10 comes back to our community. And so investing in businesses, and particularly women and minority businesses, we see that it's a great investment. But then we also heard on this morning that you first got to be the first angel investor. So that angel investor, I heard it was Benique's Bank of South Carolina. That angel investor. So whether you are investing, when you're investing your own finances, when you're investing and you're reaching out to your, I like to say, your ecosystems, because y'all know y'all got them loving mamas and daddies, and those sisters and brothers, and those friends that believes in you. Help to pull them in, to be part of your team. And so we understand that investing in ourselves with our time, with our energy, with our resources will all help you win. I'm going to give you a couple of statistics because I didn't really want to do all these numbers here. However, we understand that there are over 12 million small businesses, minority-owned businesses, that contributes about $5 trillion across this country, and over 30 million jobs here in the USA. Minority women are the fastest growing entrepreneurs in this country. Women at a rate of 6 times those that are starting their business. But I want to ask you a question. How do you see your business? Do you see yourself as a business or a side hustle? However you see yourselves, that's how other folks are going to see you. So if you're going to rise up and win, you got to set the attitudes and follow what has been told and trained onto you on today about your attitude, pivoting when you need to pivot. And so if you treat your business as a side hustle, that, hey, I might open today or I might not open today. I don't have no business hours. I don't answer my phone. I don't return the calls. And then more importantly, I don't provide what I promised that I would provide. Sometimes we take on jobs and contracts and opportunities, but don't follow through. But if we're going to be winners, we got to look at our business as a business. And so also beginning to think about, what is my time worth? What is my product worth? Am I going to just give away my time, my service, and my products for free all the time? I'm not going to charge the right price. And so that's why you got to understand to get with somebody and be trained on how you should price, attending these bidding, contracting fairs, understanding how to bid, understand how to charge, because you want to make sure that your business is operated like a business. True story. When we opened the African American Museum prior to, that project was over $100 million. And we had the prime contractor. We said that we have a 25% goal with minority participations. So they held a outreach event. They got all this contracts and bids that came in. And so this one well-known, I won't call his name. Well, I won't call the name. Kevin. So he said, I keep bidding. They keep calling me, telling me, sharpen my pencil, sharpen my pencil, sharpen my pencil. And they finally, after 6 months, he didn't get a part of that contract. So, of course, they called me. You know, I got to be the equalizer. So they called me and said, I need you to sit down and talk with this guy. Because he was ready to go to the press. He was going to put us out on Front Street that the city of Charleston was not being truthful of providing opportunities and access. So they brought me in all the bids. And this particular contractor was the highest bidder of almost 7 bids that came in, over by $1.7 million. And I said to him, he's my friend. I said to him, it wasn't Kevin. I said, boy, how did you, I kept saying, you're not even in the ballpark. He said, well, I sharpened my pencil. I said, you're not in the ballpark. Matter of fact, you're to the moon. I said, why would you put this on a piece of paper, $7.5 million, above the lowest bidder? He said, because I am who I am, and y'all the city, so y'all should be able to pay it. Really? I said, you need to go to a bidding class and understanding how to submit bids. So we got to remember that we got to educate ourselves. Real success is not an accident. It takes hard work. You should never stop learning and evolving. It is not a coincidence when some companies are successful and you're not. You got to put in the work. I oftentimes tell people, if you've never had a $5,000 contract with the city of Charleston or any $5,000 contract, and now you're putting in a bid for $100,000, Angela, what is the chances when you look at their portfolio, they've never done anything beyond $200 or $300? Do you think they're going to get a federal, state, or a municipal government contract? Angela, what? No. But it doesn't mean that you can't be a part of that $1 million contract, because you can be a sub on it. Maybe you can do a $5,000 piece of the contract. And so we got to understand what seat we're on in this plane. Am I going to be the prime, the captain of this plane driving this contract, and don't have the experience? If they don't have the experience, do you want that pilot with no experience to be driving that contract? No. I might just have to be in the wing. But as long as I'm on the plane, I'm going somewhere. And so even if I come in as a sub, I'm still going somewhere. And so when we begin to think about, are you willing to do what it takes to be successful? And that means your time, your resources. And then when you don't get the part of a contract, do you consider it a failure or a success? when you don't get it because you weren't qualified? How do you consider that? A failure or a success? Anybody? This is interactive. You didn't get the contract. He didn't get the contract at $1.7 million. It was what? It was an experience. So sometimes we got to what? Fail forward. Fail forward. If we're going to win, we got to learn to take our licks, but keep on taking. We got to take our losses and keep on going. But then we got to then look inwardly and say, what did I do wrong? What was it that I did wrong? Am I going to complain that they never hire me? Well, you can also go back and you can get with that contracting officer and say, hey, can I see those bids? Can you tell me where I went wrong? And then you can get yourself a mentor so that you can what? Fail forward. I heard Courtney says that 409, it was 408 times that they tried before they got the right formula. And so sometimes you got to understand that you got to continue to keep it moving. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I don't know what's going to happen when I turn my TV on tonight and with all that's going on in this world. And so you got to understand and you got to learn that you're going to have to pivot. Because if all you're looking for is governmental contracts, I don't know whether it's going to be there on Monday, y'all. I don't know what's going to happen in this world. And you can't show up and say, I'm bidding, Kevin, and I'm only using Kevin because he's my friend, show up and says, well, you know what? I'm the only brother that bidded on this job. What? No. Not on municipal government contracts. Not only in county contracts. You're going to have to bring it. You're going to have to bring it. You got to stand on your experience, and you got to use and do your connections to continue to move forward in this turbulent time. Because guess what? The best still is yet to come. The best still is yet to come. Don't get discouraged on what you're hearing and seeing in the news. Because we understand as a people that guess what? When somebody said when they go low, we go high. When they shut a door, we go through a window. We go through a window. We do not give up. Because we were entrepreneurs from the time we hit this land. We were entrepreneurs when we didn't even know we were entrepreneurs. We were bartering when we didn't know we were bartering. And now we are entrepreneurs, all moving in the same direction. And so whether you are a side entrepreneurs, that in this country there are 65% of women are what we call side entrepreneurs. What's a side entrepreneur? Anybody, please? What's that? Go ahead, speak up. That's right. They have a main job, but then they also have a side hustle. But don't call you a side hustle. You're a side entrepreneur. Because your 9 to 5 will help pay for your 5 to 10, and your weekend. Because we heard from Courtney as well as Sarah Dumplings that they maintain their jobs until they can launch. The co-founder of LinkedIn said this. Dale Gaines, the author of a intriguing news report from the Federal Reserve of the Bank of Kansas on dealing with startup business, said that Reid Hoffman, a co-founder of LinkedIn, said entrepreneurs is someone who would jump off a cliff and assemble a plane on the way down. But black women entrepreneurs, he said quickly and added that they'll do it with a toothpick and a napkin. They'll jump off a cliff and assemble a plane on the way down. What What he meant was that typically black women entrepreneurs may lack the resources and the capital to launch, yet they take off and do it. You may not have everything you need, but take off and do it. Take that plunge. Sometimes you got to keep on swinging. Sometimes if you wait until you get it all together, you'll never get on the plane. If you wait until I got all my ducks in a row, but if you've done what you needed to do, that you've contacted the Women's Business Center, you've contacted SBDC, help you put together the business plan, understanding your credit. Listen, let's do it. Let's take the leap of faith. Because if you waited until it was all together, you'll be waiting until the cows come home. Take the leap of faith. I'm going to conclude in just a few seconds. When I talk about trying to fail your way through success, I'm only talking about it's time to thrive, not just to survive. We have far too long have been trying to just survive. We are in the season of overflow. We are in the season of thriving. We have more opportunities in the fingertips of our hands. We're in that season of entrepreneurship. During COVID, we had so many new businesses, and who knew that DoorDash was going to be so successful? Who knew that doggy services at home was going to be so successful? I had one business that needed a van because they were going to provide, I guess dog services where they wash the animals, clean the animals at home. That chick made $1 million. $1 million in 2 years providing those services at home, thinking outside the box. Now, some of you have seen this particular vendor. Ice creams in the shape of a box of chicken. Have y'all seen that one? What's the name of that company? Life Rafts. Y'all gonna see her at the expo. Life Raft, multi-million-dollar company. Thinking outside of a box of chicken, all ice cream, and chicken wing size. Go to y'all and look it up. Life Raft treats. Thinking outside of the box. We are now in the overflow. It's now time for us to continue to move forward. And so how do we need to do that is this. We need to understand what opportunities are out there. You can't wait until somebody knocks on your door. Nobody's going to knock on your door. Nobody's going to come to save you. You're going to have to get up every day and go for it. Get up every day and go for it. You can't wait for the city to call you to tell you about an opportunity. You can't wait on Angela to make sure you get those. But when we do send them out, you need to respond. And so if you're not in it, you can't win it. So you got to be in it to win it. So I just want to ask you a question. Are you in it? Are you in it? Are you in it? Are you going to win it? Yes, you're going to win it. Because you got everything you need. All the tools you need. All the resources you need. And I will tell you, there's no free money. Now, but I heard Dorothea told you about some ways that you can get some money. But there's no free money. So get that out of your heads. There's no free money. You're going to have to work for it. Now, when you're talking about writing a grant, it's the WWW. Anybody know what WWW is? Besides the World Wide Web? What do you need it for? Who is it going to benefit and why? You got to be able to answer those questions, whether you're a nonprofit or a for-profit. People say all the time, I need some money because I want to open up a daycare. Really? What is going to differentiate your daycare from any other daycare? Who, the what, and the why? Because it's my passion to open up a daycare. It's my passion to buy a food truck. It's my passion. But when you go to the bank or you're trying to write a grant, you're going to have to be able to answer all these questions. But we are now in the overflow, and we will win. But I'm going to conclude with this. We have to have life balance. And in business, our life balance don't match. This plane is carrying a whole lot of weight. It's carrying a whole lot of people's lives. And sometimes you are carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders as business owners. If this is the only income that you're getting, sometimes you're carrying the weight of that family and making sure that family is successful. When you're making those exceptions and those sacrifices, sometimes we get out of balance. But we got to stop long enough to balance ourselves out. Sometimes Cynthia said that she went and got her steps in earlier, anywhere you can. Sometimes you just got to get unplugged. Sometimes you got to turn some jobs down. You can't do everything. I got an issue with a contractor right now. Took on too much responsibility and about to lose everything they got because they tried to take on everything. Courtney deals with corporate, personal people like me be begging her, please come at the last minute and do this. But sometimes you just got to say no. And it's okay to say no because you got to have life balance. Because if this plane gets out of balance, taking things on, what's going to happen with that plane? It's going down. And sometimes if we overcommit ourselves financially and emotionally, we're going down. And I heard a young lady about 3 years ago or 2 years ago was in the same building. She says, don't have the bus complex. I'm like, the bus complex? She said, if you got hit by a bus today or tomorrow, will your business survive? You remember that, Dorothea? The young lady says, if you got hit by a bus today or tomorrow, will that take your plane down? Who in your team is going to be able to continue that contract? Who on your team is going to be able to continue to support that business? Who on your team? Because it can't be an I, because there's no I in team. There's not even an I in entrepreneur. Well, entrepreneur, but not that. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, then you got to understand you got to build a team if you're going to thrive and grow. And so when I'm looking at life balances, I found this. The 7 rules of life. And I saw this about 8:13 walking out my door this morning. It's at my office at my home. You know, that office we got at home, you know, that kitchen table on the side. Although I got a Dallas Cowboy room upstairs where my office should be. But, you know, I'm in counseling right now because the Cowboys let me down. So I got my new office and my kitchen table. And this is sitting on the other side of it. It says, 7 rules of life. Let it go. Never ruin a good day by thinking about a bad yesterday. If it didn't work out, it just didn't work out. Stop living and reliving yesterday. If you can't let yesterday go, you will never go into your future and live today. Ignore them. Don't listen to other people. Live a life that's empowering to you. Somebody's going to tell you, why are you doing that? That's not going to work. Why are you doing this? Stop listening to other people. Live a life that's empowering to you. Number 3, give it time. The time heals everything. Time. Give it time. If it didn't work right away, give it time. But when you need to make the adjustment, adjust it. Because when the time is up, the time is up. But give it time, y'all. Number 4, don't compare, Lord. Have you ever seen a commercial where Nike is comparing themselves to Adidas? Or McDonald's comparing themselves to Wendy's? They just talk about how great their business is, right? They just tell you how great their tennis shoes are, how great their services is. You don't have to begin to start comparing yourself to nobody else, because when you start comparing yourself and looking back, you're losing. You're losing when you keep comparing yourselves and you're looking back. Anybody who looked at runners when they run, what do? They just keep moving. For every now and then they might glance if somebody's come up on the side of them, which pushed them a little bit. But if you keep looking back, you're going to fall. And that's why most of the time they trip, because they keep looking back. Again, stay calm. It's okay not to have everything figured out. Know that in time you will get there. Stay calm. Because if that pilot on that plane isn't calm, we all going down, y'all. And you are the entrepreneur that's in the pilot seat and the co-pilot seat. And all of those other seats are our ecosystems that are there pushing you along the way. It's on you. Only you are in charge of your happiness, life balance. Only you, y'all. I think, do we have any truckers in the room? I think this guy, yeah, you're truckers in the room. How many fleets of trucks do you have? 9. Okay. Woo! Let's give him a hand. 29. What's the name of it? LNS, that's right. 29 trucks. And I'm glad you said that, because I have a story about 29 trucks, about 50 trucks we needed. Someone said they had 50 trucks, and they didn't have the 50 trucks. But nevertheless, you know, they lost the contract. But truckers and logistics and restaurant owners and most business owners sacrifice a lot. Because logistically, they're either on the road or getting people on the road. And who's left behind? Family. Take time, y'all. When I was in real estate, making lots of money, working for one of the biggest real estate companies here, called Prudential Carolina, our CEO said, make money, enjoy it, and play hard. Work hard, but also play hard. Take a vacation. Anybody planning their vacation already? Oh my God, y'all ain't planning your vacation in 24, 25? Take a vacation. Go, maybe do a staycation. Don't wait until, I'm gonna wait until the summertime comes. I'm gonna wait until October. Man, take vacation. Take time. Last year when my husband retired, everybody said, you gonna retire? And we gave him a big party, did we, Courtney? We gave him a big party because he said he was retiring. You know what I said? I said, okay, you retiring, you getting all this money. I'm planning my vacation, which meant that was last year, and I planned, guess what, to go to Africa March 3rd for 14 days. Take time, plan, take a vacation. And you who got family, do not negate your family. Because at the end of the day, the only people you're going to have left to look you in the eye is your family. And so put your family and God first. Put your family, or wherever faith, I'm just saying God, I don't want to get in trouble. Have faith or whatever it is that you believe in. Put that first along with your family. And then celebrate. Sometimes we're working And we never take time to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Celebrate. Celebrate. Also, guess what? Celebrate your workers and your team. Don't you just take all of it and never share with anybody else. Because I will tell you, it's lonely at the top. It's difficult at the top. And sometimes you got to make sure you got a mentor. Because in the sphere of entrepreneurship, I'm telling you, it's lonely. Because sometimes you're going to need somebody to talk to. So last but not least, smile. Be happy. Because the best is yet to come. Let's give yourself a hand. Stand up, everybody. The best is yet to come, y'all.